Hello everybody! In today's video, we're going to be taking a detailed look at Bachmann's HOn30 narrow gauge Talyllyn steam locomotive. This locomotive runs on N-scale track. We bought this from Trainworld as a pre-order for $109.99. Currently, as of the making of this video, it sells for $129.99. We ordered it in October of 2024 and received it in November of 2024, but we were in the process of redoing our layout and had no place to run it, so we haven't had a chance to unbox it until now. I think lots of people have reviewed it at this point, so just consider this an additional take on the Bachmann Talyllyn narrow gauge steam locomotive. The Talyllyn has an interesting history, so let's get into a little background. To do that, we have to discuss the Talyllyn Railway itself. The creation of the Talyllyn Railway has direct ties to the American Civil War. Prior to the American Civil War, the American South produced about 75% of the world's cotton. However, the American Civil War resulted in cotton shortages, which in turn caused some mill owners in the UK to find other profitable businesses. So, the mill owners formed the Aberdofi Slate Company Limited to manage and operate the Bryn Elgwys Quarry located near Abergynolwyn in Wales. To do this efficiently, they needed to modernize the quarry operations, in particular, transporting the slate. Keep in mind that modernizing an industry's transportation system in the 1800s often involved railroads, and so the Talyllyn Railway was built and opened in 1865. Its purpose was to transport slate from the Bryn Elgwys Quarry to the coast, where the slate was then transferred to the mainline railway for further shipping and distribution. The slate had previously been transported using pack horses. While its primary function was industrial, the railway was authorized by an act of parliament to carry passengers as well. The railway itself is a 2-foot 3-inch narrow gauge railway and is only 7.25 miles long. Well, that's a brief history into the Talyllyn Railway, and there were probably some pretty rough pronunciations in there as well. Alright, so let's give the Talyllyn an unboxing here. Just basically a basic box, cardboard box here. And in the back you can see there's some paperwork here. And this, there you can sign up for a catalog. Over 300 pages, full color combined Bachmann and Williams catalog. So you can fill that in. You can probably do that online. Next we have a blown out version of the, or diagram of the locomotive here with all the parts and all the part numbers. So very cool. You can see where all the screws are and individual parts, nice. And then finally, we have the limited warranty. So you got that paperwork there. Standard, I'm sure, with all their locomotives. So we'll fold that stuff up, put it aside, and then get to the fun part here. Just a couple of pieces of kind of blister packaging here. Just pull those apart. It's kind of like sealed it in a little envelope of plastic. And then it'll drop right out. And there we have it. Talyllyn. We've had this for a while, and we're just getting to unboxing it now. All right, let's get it on the turntable and take a look. So let's talk about the Talyllyn locomotive itself. The Talyllyn locomotive is a narrow gauge 042 ST steam locomotive, meaning that, according to the White notation system, it has no leading wheels, 4 drive wheels, and 2 unpowered trailing wheels. The ST part of the notation means that it is a saddle tank engine. The primary purpose of the Talyllyn steam locomotive from the outset of the railway's opening in 1865 was, as we said earlier, to haul slate trains from the Bryn Elgwys Quarry down to the coastal town of Tywyn, where the slate was transferred to the mainline railway or ships for wider distribution. And as mentioned earlier, the locomotive also served the secondary purpose of hauling passenger carriages. The engine itself was built by Fletcher, Jennings and Company in 1864 as model Class C. There was only one Talyllyn locomotive produced, and it still runs on the Talyllyn Railway today. In popular culture, the Talyllyn was the real-life inspiration for Skarloey from the Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends universe. Before we take a look at the Talyllyn, we just wanted to mention that Fletcher, Jennings and Company built a second narrow-gauge locomotive for the Talyllyn Railway called the Dolgok. The Dolgok was the real-life inspiration for Rennius, also from the Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends universe. Okay, so we'll just take a look at the Talyllyn here from all sides. We'll start with this side view here. The base color is black, the boiler, the running platform there, the roof of the cab is black, and some of the trim here, pieces like the buffer pads, the couplers, and then the chimney and all that. So a lot of black on there, but the color of the locomotive, this version obviously is green, so it's got that nice, almost hunter green there. Maybe it's a different shade of green, but yeah, nice attractive green. It's got the gold pinstriping, which really kind of goes great with this shade of green here. So you can see that going around the saddle tank, around the piston, and some of the panels here on the side of the cab. So also in profile here, you'll see the red rods here in the linkage, so that there's some nice detail down there. Red buffer beams, you'll see those better from the front and the back. And we're on a white background here, but you might be able to see the little lantern there. Again, you'll see that better from the front. And then you get that red bracket up there that's kind of holding the whistle in place along with that steam dome. And you'll see it better from the top view, but there's also coal bunkers on either side of the cab there. So that's our little side view there. Let's give it a spin. And we get a nice kind of 3/4 view here from the back. You can just kind of see up the side there. No new real features to point out there. You're just seeing the buffer beam kind of come into view here, but that's always a nice angle. And we'll continue around. Okay, looking from the back, you've got, again, nice full view of that red buffer beam there, and then you've got some panels in the back here that have that gold pinstriping. You've got a white lantern there on the back. And that little badging, again, this printing is really small, so it might not pick up on the video, but that says T with a line and then an R for Talyllyn Railway. And then you get your porthole windows in the back. And the cab kind of comes down at an angle there at the bottom, which is kind of a nice little kind of feature there, kind of breaks up the straight lines a little bit. But yeah. And we'll continue around. And then here's the 3/4 view again from the other side there from the back. Nothing really new to point out here, but just to stop there and give you that view. And we'll continue around. Stopping here at the other side. This is identical to the opposite side here. Nothing, again, really new here. But I don't know if I pointed it out on the other side, but you got that gold piping down here on the bottom, just under that panel on the side of the cab. And then you might be able to see it up here. There's some more kind of piping up here in the front of the boiler between the chimney and the white lantern there. But again, not too much new to point out here, so we'll just continue around. You got the nice 3/4 view here. And again, you might be able to get a good look at that bracket there holding up the whistle. But yeah, as we come around the front, the 3/4 view is always nice here. You might be able to see the coal bunkers up there at this angle. You're starting to see the front of the boiler come around into view here. And here's our front view. You can see the front of the boiler right here. You can see the white painted kind of hinges and you know, kind of the support for those hinges there for the hatch there, if that's what that's called, for the front of the boiler. And then straight on, you can see the nice buffer beam there, white lantern, the chimney with the gold trim around it. You can see hopefully you can see kind of good front angle there of that saddle tank, which is nice. And then you've got your portholes, if you can see those way back there, the porthole windows. So pretty nice here. There's your front view. And coming around here, you get your 3/4 view. Again, nothing much to see here, just the opposite side of the other 3/4 view. Nothing new. Pretty symmetrical from either side. And then lastly, we'll just bring it around here, full circle here to our original side view here. But yeah, there's a good look at the Talyllyn there, kind of doing a 360 and take you around the whole thing. But yeah, let's take a look at the top and the bottom. Okay, and here's the Talyllyn from a top view here. You can see the nice saddle tank there wrapping over the boiler with the water fill cap there. And here you can get a nice view of that kind of red bracket there, nice little detail, kind of holding up the whistle there at the top of the steam dome. What else can you see from here? Oh, you can see the coal bunkers there, kind of nice on either side. And then again, kind of from a top profile here, you can see the buffer beams, buffer pads, get an idea of how far those kind of stick out there. Black roof over the cab. But yeah, otherwise that's pretty much what the Talyllyn looks like from the top. Oh, and you can see the white little lamp there, little lantern. But yeah, there you go. There's a view from the top. Okay, taking a look at the Talyllyn here from the bottom. This is kind of a typical Bachmann underside here, just kind of the black plastic chassis here with some access screws. You've got the Bachmann logo stamped in there, and then the white painted part number. And you've got the 2 unpowered trailing wheels here, and then the 4 drive wheels. Otherwise, it's, you know, not a whole lot down here to see, but you can get a nice little detail here with the rods and so forth. You might be able to see here this piping, this gold piping here kind of wraps onto. That's a nice detail because that's kind of a nice finely painted thing. And then you can see the buffer beams and pads and couplers in profile there. But yeah, just to give you a quick look at the underside of the Talyllyn. One thing we didn't want to forget to mention is that the Bachmann HOn30 Talyllyn locomotive is available in 3 colors: red, black, and green. And as we said earlier in the video, the Talyllyn was the inspiration for Skarloey from the Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends universe. And you can really see how good a job Bachmann did at actually recreating both. I'm wondering if the mold is the same actually, or the manufacturing process. I don't know if it'd be a mold particularly, but the manufacturing process used the same, you know, the same die or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely, you can see the similarities for sure. Right down to the bracket for the whistle and that steam dome there, but they look pretty much identical. Now, one of the most amazing things to me after doing the research for this is that there was only one Talyllyn locomotive manufactured. So it's a one of a kind, and it still runs today. Now, the Talyllyn also had a second locomotive manufactured, and that was called the Dolgok. If you want to know what the Dolgok might have looked like, well, the Dolgok was the inspiration for Rennius, also of the Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends universe. And as you can see here, we have our narrow gauge Rennius locomotive here. And then we have Skarloey here, and of course the Talyllyn there on the left. All right, so now that we've seen the Talyllyn from all sides, top and bottom, let's get it out on the layout and see it in action. Alright guys, that's going to do it for our detailed look at our Bachmann HOn30 scale Talyllyn saddle tank steam locomotive. We've had this thing for a while, and we pre-ordered it, so feel like we were kind of one of the first on board, but it just took us a long time to get to this. But anyway, here it is. I know there are a lot of other reviews out there, but yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy this and find it informative just the same. So that's going to do it for us for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.